We've always insisted that, look, we are going to support a free, fair, and credible process. Whatever the outcome of such a process, we are ready to accept. But what we've seen is that INEC, which ought to be neutral, in fact, hasn't been neutral. We've seen INEC officials in open collusion. And this is not a personal opinion. We have evidence of INEC totally working in concert, in collusion.
Which areas of in what part of?
Literally statewide. In fact, in Okrika, for instance, we found that materials that we are supposed to get to Osaka, which is a very key, politically very key component of the Okrika local government. These materials were simply diverted by INEC and military officials, and they were completing them in a military tugboat. Happily, that election has now been annulled. But what we've seen,
it's a very big allegation.
No, these are not allegations, Sean. What we've seen,
you are able to back them up with evidence.
Oh yes, in fact, what we are doing, in our situation room, we are doing a complete.
Oh, you have your own situation.
Oh yes, we do. We are doing a comprehensive analysis of all of the things that have transpired on a local government by local government basis. And what we've seen, the picture that we've seen, is very shocking. You see, we think that if you are going into a democratic process like this, the outcome should be left to the people entirely. Let the people choose who their leaders should be.
Does your party agree with the suspension of the exercise in 8 local government areas?
You see, the suspensions were not done in consultation with the PDP or with the government. These were decisions entirely reached by INEC. And these were decisions forced upon INEC by their own incompetence. What we expected was, look, arrive on time, distribute this material, cross-check and double-check them. Make sure that the documentation you're sending is to the right location.
So you do not agree that INEC should suspend the exercise?
Frankly, Sean, we won in those words.
How do you know? Because the results are not hitting
listen, we did a word-by-word, unit-by-unit analysis of the figures. And as we were approaching the collation centers, we were seeing more and more INEC officials diverting from the normal course of the route and diverting to locations controlled by the APC. And what we have seen...
all of these allegations are backed by APC. None of your members were involved in any malpractice.
You see, what we have said, both as PDP and as government, is that any member of the PDP who is involved in any kind of gerrymandering of the process, anybody who alters the process other than what the people want, let the law take its full course. We made this very clear. But what we've seen has been an open, shameless, collusion with the APC.
Because if you hear what the allegations of the APC are, you will be shocked at some of this.
The fellows who speak for the APC are totally discredited politicians, and in Rivers State at least, nobody takes them seriously. But there's one other point I need to make. Constitutionally, the military have no role to play in our electoral process. In fact, just last year, the APC itself, as opposition party, procured Supreme Court judgments that manifestly forbade the military from getting involved in our electoral process. What we've seen in Rivers State has been totally shocking.
Dr. George, before we move into the issue of security, we're trying to talk about the conduct first, which is germane, because of course it's because of the conduct that's why we're bringing security. I'm still asking, you've not answered the question, why, if you agree that those local government areas, 8 of them are Donny, LMA, HA, and the rest, should be suspended.
Do
you agree?
To the extent that the INEC has made these proclamations, we live with it. But you see, if you...
but if there is a different thing, if they make the proclamation, do you think that is necessary?
Our own point is release the results. And, we've got field officers everywhere.
Did you hear what INEC said about what happened, the reasons, the major reasons of the suspension? They said militant, cultists, armed men wouldn't allow the officials to even move out.
Oh no, the truth, let me tell you, Sean.
You do not agree with that?
Not only do I not agree.
That's a lie,
from your point of view. It's not true. The point is, we had more than surplus military personnel, unprecedented in the political history of this state. How come? How come that in spite of the deployment of over 6,000 policemen, how come, in spite of the deployment of over 2,000 military, if some of them withdrawn from war zones in the northeast, how come they were not able to protect the INEC? The truth.
They say that they withdraw military men from the
well, you know, we have an insurgency, an active insurgency in the northeast. We have not seen them fighting them. They were deployed instead to Rivers State. But the truth, Sean, is that they came to make these announcements about the postponement of these elections in these 8 local governments because it was manifestly clear that the PDP was coasting to victory.
I mean, you still not convinced me about how you think that your party was coasting. Because if you are winning, for example, if you and I are in a wrestling bout, there are rules to being a winner.
Because I cited that example at first. Yeah. In Okrika, for instance, as we speak, the PDP is ahead by over 5,000 votes.
From which authority are you getting?
No, these are the figures.
Because there are a lot of figures. Yeah. I can give you 1,001 figures that are surfacing online. Because there are allegations also from your party that there are fake result sheets. Are these not fake results?
No, see what happened. These are not allegations anymore, frankly. What happened was, there are certified copies. INEC certified copies of these result sheets. Some of them carry coat of arms, security labels. But there are some of them that do not have. What one would have expected INEC to do, and this was another case of complete incompetence, what one would have expected INEC to do was to say, look, all result sheets are going to carry security labels, period. In this case, some had, some clearly didn't have. And so there is this, this suspicion that, look, if some of these result sheets already have security labels, how come the ones we are having in Bonny, the ones we are having in Kana, the ones we are having in Gokana and elsewhere didn't have these security features? And so the people became legitimately suspicious.
So you will say that INEC has failed in this exercise?
INEC itself cannot score more than 30% of the, out of what they have done.
From what the PDP will gauge them.
Completely.
If the PDP will judge them.
You see, I was with the governor just a few, an hour ago, and he made it clear at a press conference that, look, INEC had sufficient time to do this. They had every resources to do this. They had every security to do this, but they manifested. It was a logistical nightmare. Now, apart from that, there was also this open collusion with the APC. We are in our situation room.
Would you substantiate that?
Look, there have been, in the pages of newspapers, I'm sure, Sean, you've seen people arrested. The APC chieftain, Mr. Davis Ekanya, giving his cap to the APC official that was apprehended by the police to cover her face out of shame. These are not my opinions. These are cases already documented by the media itself, which is independent in this process.
All right, we'll take a moment. I've been talking with the Commissioner for Information in Rivers State about the exercise, how it all went. The issue concerning INEC, the security issues are going to be what we're going to be looking into. So many issues to talk about here on the program. Rivers Rerun is taking our attention right here, right now, from Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State. We'll take a moment and we'll be right back.